Hi guys, welcome back. This is part 2 of my PGL Major Antwerp, the Challenger stage. Um, Video predictions and I guess future predictions. Um, Last time we covered, it was probably about the first 9 teams that I was going to be talking about. So we have about 7 more, and I've already talked about those all the way up in descending order from how they are ranked on HLTV. We're already down to 4s, so we're getting into the upsets at this point. We're getting into the nitty-gritty. These teams have a chance. You didn't think they have a chance, but they do. And we're going to start it out hot with MIBR. We have Cello, Exit, Wood, Turtle, and Jota. You know, this is a team that has been kind of riding the wave for the past couple years. They're a good team. I think that they're solid, but they're pretty much average to me. And in a sea of killers, I think that an average team will have average results. I see them definitely getting a win. They're definitely going to beat up a can. I don't know which can it is, but I can see them going 1-3 and being a stepstone for a lot of the other people who I think are going to make it through the stage. I'm sorry for MIBR fans, but they will not be qualifying. Next up, we have Bad News Eagles. I love this team. This team is making it through the Challenger stage, going straight to the Major stage. They have Rigon, they have Center, they have Juan Flatro, they have Synopsy, and they have GXX. GXX, great on the op. He's pretty consistent. He's pretty consistent. Think of him as like, or I think of him as like a Nikodos from like Copenhagen Flames. He's consistent. He always gets his kills. He's not necessarily the top guy who you're expecting to be at the top of the scoreboard, but he'll have around 20. And a lot of times he is that top guy. He'll sneak in 26, maybe 29, 23. That guy that we're expecting to be at the top of the scoreboard is Rigon. And Rigon is a great rifler. He's almost like Roy to Nikodos. They're like Copenhagen Flames, only not them. So yeah, I like this team. I think they have some great riflers. I think their support player, Center, is really a weak point in their roster. I'm not sure if he's the IGL. I'm fairly certain that he is, and that's why he's such a weak point. But he is straight up in the, if we're talking about archetypes, he's the Blade archetype, where he is all brain, no aim. And of course, like notoriously, Blade is one of the greatest IGLs of all time. But also, notoriously, he gets like 6 kills a game. Center can go off sometimes, and he does sometimes, but I see this team getting through 3-1, and I would say 3-2, but I believe that all of their stars, I think Juan Flatro is a great rifler. Synopsy, I worry about. It's really Rigon and GXX, but they're so good. They're so good. I think that they also have amazing synergy. This is the Bad News Eagles team. This is the team that used to be, God, it was a little I forget what they were called, but two of their players got had their contracts ended, couldn't come to an agreement, and so the whole team left, and they are unsponsored right now. They left their sponsor, they left their org, and they have just been playing as a team. They have that synergy, they have that friendship that's been built up. And you guys might not realize this, but that matters so much. When you vibe with people who you're playing with, that matters almost way more. You have more trust. You have more faith. You do stuff. It's so much less mechanical and so much more in rhythm. I like this team to get through to the major stage 3-1. Next up, we have Spirit. Spirit has been through its ups and downs in the last year. They're a team of Chopper, Dexter, Magix, Siren, and Patsy. Magix with 2 X's, not the Danish guy. This team is young. This team is unproven. I think that having Chopper was a great pickup for them. He's been fragging great. He's also a major veteran. He's been here before. He's been through the challenger stage before. And he's a great pickup for them leadership-wise. But this team is unproven. A lot of these young guys have never been on the major stage, and I don't think that they will perform well. I see them going out. 1-3. I see them going out 1-3. I think they're a great fragging team, and in a couple years they could be smack dab in the middle of majors, just constantly making them, but not now. Ooh, next up we have an exciting one. Eternal Fire. We have the Turkish squad, and I've been a fan of the Turkish squads, the Zentaris, ever since Space Soldiers, man, and not late Space Soldiers, early Space Soldiers. I think this team has crazy stars. You have Zentaris, you have Woxic, you have Calix, Emor, and Floud. God, if you're talking about Turkish stars, this is a stacked lineup. I would replace Floud with Paz. I love Paz, but unfortunately he's not here. So we have Zentaris, who is an amazing fragger. If he were on a more successful team, I would put him on a more successful Turkish team, because I think that language barrier really affected him when he was playing on a European squad. I would put him as a top 20 player as far as skill goes, for sure. And then Woxic. Woxic's also great. He's great. He's a great opper. He's a good player, man. Calix has proven that he's also a star in hiding. He can come out sometimes, and really, they kicked him out for a while. They brought him back. Ever since then, he's been kind of fragging again. I don't know what went on there. Emor's great. He's a great support rifle. He has his off games, but majority of the time, I would play, if you do DFS, which is fantasy draft, I would pick up Emor. He's always cheap. He's super underrated, and then he will pop off for 28, 29, and be at the top of the scoreboard. He is a great second in, third in, a great support rifle, and I would honestly call him one of the stars. Floud X-Floud is fine. He's just nothing special, you know? He's not... I feel like he doesn't belong in the same tier as these other guys. I think if they find another person to fill... maybe even like an IGL to take some of the weight off of Zentaris, because I believe he's IGLing. It's either him or Calix. I could be wrong about that. But find a Turkish IGL with really good strats, some knowledge. Major would be great. I don't know if they don't want to play with him or what, but I mean, upgrade this team just a little bit. I want to see you guys be a tier 1 team, please, please, please. That being said, I do not think they will make it through this phase. I don't even know if they'll make it to the day 5. We'll say they'll make it to day 5. 2-3 for this team. Next, we have 9Z with Max, DGT, Lucan, Rox, and David. This team, as far as the South American teams go, barely squeaked through. 0-3. This is a 0-3 team. There are 2 0-3 teams. This is one of them. I could see them maybe eking out a win over some of the lower tier teams like MIBR or Imperial. IHC, if they play against IHC, they'll get a win. But goodness gracious, this team, they're not bad. They're just, this is the top of the top. You went through qualifiers to get here. There's a lot of teams that are great that didn't get here. And so you're just at the bottom of just a crap ton of good teams. I say they go 1-3. I say they go 1-3. I think that they have potential to come back, though. I know this roster's been together for a little bit now, and I don't know much about them, but I just don't see them getting through. Next up, we have Imperial, or as I like to call them, Luminosity Gaming, with FNX, Fallen, Fur, Bolts, and Vinny. This is almost man for man the roster that won the major as Luminosity. They have FNX back. I don't know where the hell they got FNX from, but he's back. Fallen, Fur, Bolts. They got Bolts, he was originally on that team before they swapped him out for Taco. So not the major roster. They're missing Cold Zero. They're missing Taco. But this team is great. It's going to be a lot of fun to see them again. Recently, I believe they won against 9Z. I believe they won against MIBR. They're looking in good form. Unfortunately, they do not have the star power. There's no Cold Zero anymore. All of these guys are good, solid players, but they've all been on a hiatus, or a few of them have been on a hiatus. They have great synergy, but coming back, I think they're going to make it to the last day. I see them going 2 and 3. This was a hard one for me because it was either them or Liquid. Those are my two bubble teams. They're kind of interchangeable for me. If you want to put Imperial through, go ahead and put them through. Next up, we have IHC. I'm going to say this first. Fade, Oceania, and Asia teams. I believe IHC is from Mongolia. They have Cabal, Ning, Score, Blitz, and Techno. And they're an Asian qual. They're an Asian qual. They have pretty good wins. I believe they beat Tyloo. I believe all the Chinese teams that have the big names on them, they have wins over them, and 2-0 wins, pretty significant wins. But Asia quals, I have this as going one of my 0 and 3 teams. Asia quals, you have to fade Asia quals. These guys have spent the past year playing against competition that is tier 2 at best. So they're going to run into, their first game is against Astralis. They're going to run into Astralis. They're going to get bodied 16-4, and they're not going to know what to do. Now maybe they bounce back. This is their first major. It's a super green team, super fresh, super new, playing against top tier competition. They're not even. Hopefully that their boot camps looked okay. One thing about the Asia Qual teams is they always have skill. They always have skill, but they don't necessarily have the strats to get through it or the confidence. They'll be doing their plays, and then suddenly, we'll say Astralis, Config will be running down mid while you're setting up your smoke plays. Why? Because he does not respect you. You haven't given him a reason to respect you. I see these guys going 0-3. Next up, we have Renegades. Renegades, this is an Australian team with Sicko, Liaz, Alistair, Inns, and Hats. Weak squad. It's just recycled Australian players. They don't have a JKS anymore. They don't have that star. They don't have that tier 1 star. They're not 1 and 3 at best. They're not going to make it through. They don't have the skill. They don't have the strats. You know, I think they have a great support in Liaz. He might be their top fragger. I don't know with this team. They just have poor fragging. They can't keep up with the main guys. Looks like I have 1 more minute left. Let's go through the first round matchups. Bad News Eagles against Eternal Fire. I have Bad News Eagles winning that. Vitality against Complexity. I have Vitality winning that. G2 against Liquid. Close. It's going to be close. Might go to overtime, but I have G2 eking it through. We have 4s against Renegades. I'm taking 4s all day. Astralis against IHC. We're taking Astralis. Imperial against Spirit. This is a tough one. We're going to give it to Imperial, though. They're going to make it through to the next day. Ents against 9Z. We're going to pick Ents every day of the week. And then MIBR against Outsiders. We're taking Outsiders. So this, plus the video before, you guys go check it out, are my predictions for the Challenger stage, my breakdown of the teams. Go ahead and lock it in. Get ready to watch in about 8 hours. And y'all have a good night. Good day. Watch some Counter-Strike.